This is from the Petty Corner. I'm Petty Diana, and today I have Kali'i Kanekoa, the Chief, here with me today. Welcome back to the Petty Corner, Chief.
What's up? How you doing, Diana?
I'm good. How are you?
Living a life?
I hope I slayed your name because I always butcher it.
Nah, you did great. That was good.
I've been getting better. Okay, so let's talk about Saudi Arabia. What was your time like there?
It was great. I mean, Saudi Arabia is just another, I would say, a new country for me to visit, but um, the food was exactly the same as Abu Dhabi. But the radiance, I would say the vibrant part of it wasn't there in Saudi Arabia. But it's a great country.
Did you have a hard time adjusting to the time change or anything?
No, not at all. Yeah. I'm a night owl and so I stay up throughout the night. Um, so I would say the time is adjusting to me.
Did you end up going to Thailand after?
No, so as soon as that one was over, I knew I had to come back to America and get some stuff settled. Because I'm moving to Dubai. I believe you said that last time we spoke. So getting back home, getting stuff done, so that way I just have a clear conscience and I can make my journey in different life.
And when are you moving to Dubai? Do you have a time frame for that?
Yeah, I'm actually moving in June, so it's right around the corner. But at least I still have two more matches here in America, and I get to share the platform with my fellow colleagues from Parslap.
Okay, so they just announced that you are going against Wesley Drain at Power Slap 12. How do you feel about him being your opponent? He's a true OG of the game.
I respect all the OGs, especially from season one, season two. But it's a different caliber now. I am the dark horse of my division, and I'm taking over the middleweight division. The last thing that I picture is having that title wrapped around my waist, and no one else is in this imagination. No one else is in this mind, other than that. No, that's my goal. But I'm excited. I get to go against one of the OGs, so let's put on a show.
And you know what? You and Wesley share something from both your last matches. He wore no shoes, and you wore no shoes. That was something new for you. I've never seen you go on stage with no shoes, and I was actually terrified. I was like, "Damn!" I said, "It's never been good for anybody who doesn't wear shoes when they go on stage." But it worked out for you. What was your decision behind that? Why did you go on stage with no shoes? With the background of nobody ever being able to perform good with no shoes on.
Yeah, and that was a really good question. So I want to be more grounded, like in a sense of a way where I could feel the energy from the crowd. I could feel the energy from the event, and being barefoot, it's a bit similar to walking in nature and just being grounded. So I want to carry the same spirituality from that to the event, and being barefoot. I felt energetic. I felt like I could take on the world. So that was a quick switch up for everyone, huh? But I enjoyed it. So obviously the win was in my favor. So we'll see what happens in the next one.
Okay, and did you feel any difference in the mat? Was your feet slippery? As I know the mat's kind of soft, so you kind of sink into it, right?
Yeah, a lot of people had different outputs on it. Like they said that there's like a slight little hump where we're standing, and I didn't feel that. I felt as if I was sinking my toes like into the mat itself, and I was just locked in. So for me, it didn't feel weird at all. It wasn't sweaty. It didn't feel, where it was like too cushiony. It felt like I need to be exactly where I need to be, especially doing it barefoot.
What do you feel like your biggest challenge against Wesley is going to be?
I know that he does MMA, so I would say that he can take a hit on the chin. But from what had happened with me in my previous fight, anyone can be put out like that. So even though I have the background for MMA and bare knuckle and all that kind of stuff, it's it all depends on how you can receive the slap. With Wesley, I know that he does have that MMA background, so we'll see. I don't see anything that's going to affect my way of striking. I do know that I have a powerful slap, and it's just like I've told anyone that goes against me. Once I put my hands on you, like literally put my hands on you, like knuckles to chin or hand to chin, you're out. You're out. That just comes with the power and the Hawaiian background that I have. So yeah.
Okay, so Dan Hellie and I think Michael Bisping, there was like some a little did you say something to them when you were over in Saudi Arabia?
I did. Are you pertaining to like what happened with me and Dan, or are you talking about like with them personally?
I don't remember exactly, but I feel like on the broadcast that they said that you said something to them.
I did. So I did call them out about, having the favoritism with the UK side, with Darren being from the UK and Bisbing being from the UK and all that kind of stuff. So I did feel like there was a bit of a favoritism there. But you, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I love them because they're great at what they do. Commentating and doing their job. So I did make a shout out to Bisbing and I believe Charlie, which is the other reporter. They're great. They're awesome. But whatever is on my mind, I'm going to speak what's on my mind. So I don't really care. I don't really care.
I wish I remembered exactly what they said, but it just like came to me and I was like, "Oh shit, he said that."
I think it's
Um,
something too. Now that I went over some like my footage of the fight of the match, man, I could hear the commentating, and I was like, "Wait, what? Is this?" I did not hear any of that at first, but that's because I was just live in action, and adrenaline was just pumping through my blood. So yeah, I didn't hear anything.
yeah, okay, so Dan always says too, he's like, "I don't like when they go on one, like, it normally doesn't work out," but, like, I feel like the last couple cards, we've been seeing more and more that it's been working out on, going on one, so do you have anything you wanna say to him about that?
But no, I did not hear that. So going on one, there's a lot of reasons why I choose to go on one, and I guess it's changing the game right now because it's the minor technical things that you do when you adjust. And with that being said, is the reason why I go on one is because whenever you're adjusting on the wind up, you're slightly off just by an inch or two, and you're gonna end up clubbing, you're gonna end up missing, or whatever is the reason. But the reason why I go on one is because I'm going to make sure that I'm going to lock in that target and I'm not going to adjust inch by inch. Every single time that someone strikes on three, it works out for some people, but not always. But that's the reason why I do it. But you'll see it again right on one.
Hey, you guys started a movement. It's like you and Pono and Anthony Blackburn always going on one. And we're seeing it more and more come up. But I did talk to another striker and they said that you don't have time to think when you go on one because sometimes you overthink things when you have time to wind up 2 and 3 times. So,
That too, for sure. That comes into play, and you don't. I would say to anyone before you go into a fight or a match or a power slap, you want to be right in your head. You don't want to be in your head. That's you just want to make sure that you're locked in. You have exactly what you pictured, and that's either a knockout or having your hand held high. So that's the only thing that matters. Everything else shouldn't. If you're stuck in your head like that, then I suggest that you should just evacuate immediately.
okay, then there's something I have to ask you about. Because you and the rest of the whole middleweight division, it's just I feel like it's like the chief against everybody. But
Yeah.
you specifically with Isaiah, he's also on the card, but you guys have always gone back and forth with each other. And then he was your coach in Saudi Arabia. So what was your time with him like?
He did show um, being being what a champion can be, and that's being the overall a leader, a champion. Working hard and putting in the hard work every single day. I know that he came back from his trip and he immediately went against Brandon for the rematch, and it shows. You have to put in the work consistently every single day. So with him coming back from that and then winning that match, I'm like, damn, I guess I'm really gonna have to go against a pretty boy, huh? So knowing that we had this little bit of a conflict behind closed doors, now on social media, I don't really care about social media as much and don't boast about it. But with me and Isaiah, is that we have this little rivalry going on. So knowing that I had him as my coach in Saudi Arabia, I was like, shit, how the fuck is this going to play out? So, I got there and it was great, but the first time that we actually saw each other, we kind of had this like little weird vibes against each other, and we knew that we were going to pop off at any moment. But because of the area and the country, we knew that we had to be responsible. We had to be, we had to act right. Um, so we set that aside, and him being my coach, it was great because it showed me that he has the capabilities of being a champion and carrying, the aspects of being a champion, which is leadership and working hard, having the right work ethic and all that. Um, it proved me that he could be, the next champ against Brandon Bordeaux. I'm not the next champ, but sustain his title for the next couple of matches as a champion until he faces the champ. But other than that, I could care less because eventually I'm going to have to go against the pretty boy or the butcher or any one of these guys. But it was a good turnout. Obviously, the red corner ended up winning by a huge amount of numbers, so we had a great time.
Do you feel like that you guys gained a new respect, like a newfound respect for each other? Because there was a moment that you guys shared in the corner of you guys like celebrating.
Yeah, so I believe he ended up saying, "Hey, you're next, man. You're next." So I was like, "Yeah, you're next." So I ended up like throwing like a 1, 2, 3 or some shit at him. So that was a celebration because we all know, like I said before, that I am the dark horse of this division, and I'm running through this. You know, eventually I'm gonna go against Isaiah, and he knows it too. So that was a celebration at the end.
Okay, speaking of running through the division, there was a very controversial loss on your end in Abu Dhabi against Darren Godfrey. Do you feel like you need to get that lick back, or are you just looking forward to this match and then what comes after that?
Well, a lot of people are you know, requesting the rematch, and that's the reason why I want to do the rematch because it feels like that was a robbery. It was not a win. So yeah, definitely. That would be another soul, another jaw, another head to put on the stake in my closet for the rest of these guys that I've been collecting jaws on. But with Darren, if they give me the title shot and I go right past him, I'm grateful. So I'm just gonna have to do what Power Slap is giving me at the moment, or what the universe is giving me. If they do give me Darren later on, or before the title match, that would be the rematch of the century. I mean, I'm pretty sure the fans would be happy with that.
Yeah, I agree because um, up until that point, we never actually seen you take a slap before. So it was like the anticipation, can he take it? Can he take it? And then
Right.
it was like that outcome, but it was very controversial.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of just leave it at that. So I would love to see that rematch for sure. But I mean, you know, if you get through Wesley, there's a potential of you getting a title shot next. So it's kind of like, do you go backwards or do you just keep looking forward?
No, I'm just gonna keep moving forward. So he's gonna have to climb the ranks, and I feel like that would be a good um, I wouldn't say a reward or a reward. I would say that they're actually giving me what's my worth, and me being the next title contender, that's what they should give me. So I appreciate that.
I love it. What are your final thoughts going into this match against Wesley?
Against Wesley, just don't tuck your chin, don't roll your shoulder, bro. It's not an MMA fight. It's not a boxing match, but just keep on working, bro, because this is going to be a war of the century. It's going to be a war written down in history forever. But stay ready.
And you want all the smoke?
I want all the smoke. I forgot, Wesley, all the smoke. Absolutely.
Let's go. Well, Chief, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. I'm so excited for this next match for you, and I can't wait to see what happens and what's next for you.
Thank you. Same.
And hopefully, I'll see you in Vegas.
Let's go. Vegas, baby, the ninth island.
Yes. And then for those of you tuning in at home, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that good shit. Stay petty, bitches.